For decades, marketers have been planning media using reach and frequency. So it has been the standard metric. So if you wanted to reach a demo 18 to 49, you know you need to reach them 5 times in a month, and that has been the standard in media planning.
And Viant recently acquired TV Vision. Talk about that acquisition, why it's important, what it does for Viant, and what does it let advertisers do that they couldn't do before?
So Viant recently acquired T-Vision. T-Vision is a US television panel, and it's the only competitor to Nielsen. But what T-Vision does is different than Nielsen. They have a camera that sits on top of their panelists' television set, and it measures who's in the room, and if anyone's in the room, how many people, and then what's the attention being paid to the content that they're watching, and then also the ads. So the data around attention is now available through T-Vision and Viant to be able to activate media in CTV, but also in measurement across linear, CTV, and even the walled gardens of YouTube and Prime Video.
Wow, that's impressive. And looking at CTV effectiveness, how are those attention signals actually predicting business outcomes?
So T-Vision brought attention data into the landscape for CTV, but what marketers want to do is first measure. They all know that attention matters, but they may not know how much. But when you take attention and actually link it to sales, now they're able to quantify how much it actually matters. And from there, they're then going to optimize, and it's what we call, they're going to have attention adjusted CPMs to the publishers that they're buying in CTV.
Tell me a little bit about where CTV ad spend is headed.
CTV ad spend is growing in the mid-teens, 15 to 18% per year. But most of that growth is really just linear TV shifting into streaming. But a lot of what we're seeing is marketers who are measuring CTV's impact, they're now growing CTV even more because they're taking money away from branded search, social, and display advertising and pushing that into CTV. So at Viant, CTV has been growing for the last 3 years, north of 40%.
So what should brands be doing to get ahead of it?
So brands in CTV need to start measuring the true impact that CTV has on incremental sales. So everyone knows you can show a display ad right before someone's going to buy, and a display ad gets credit for it in last touch attribution. But in CTV, they need to measure what's the incremental sales impact, not just the same sales.
Attention is becoming the standard buying signal. So which channels are the winners and which ones are going to be the losers? Which ones do you think?
So attention is being used now. It's becoming more standardized in CTV. And I think the winners and the losers there really are the ones that create the most engaging content. And a lot of times through T-Vision, we're able to not just measure CTV, but also linear. So you see a lot of linear programming that still has high attention and it does really well. But you really see the premium apps, the big streamers, Disney, Paramount, NBC Peacock, they have very high attention scores. A lot of their programming is live, that does really well. And then you see, kind of the longer tail in the YouTube doesn't really get as much of attention as some of the premium streamers have.